Sadly, this is the last day these trees will be here. We're having to have them taken down. It is sad. Clarence planted these trees, Nick's grandpa, back in 1995 or 96. It was after Alma passed away. I think it was 96. He planted them. Alma passed away in 95, and I'd say it was 96 that he planted these trees. But I don't know if you can tell or not, but they're in the lines. The trunks are massive, and they're hanging over this house. And this house is going to be sold. And we just felt like if there was a bad storm come through and these trees fell on this house, it was really financially going to wipe us out. So we couldn't afford to do that, so we're having the trees cut down. I'm really sad about it, but it's just the way it goes. We are putting up a privacy fence, but it's just sad. Okay, so recently we had to have all of our trees cut down. We had a bunch of Leland Cypress trees all the way through here. See if I can show you. I'm going to put a video up, and all the way toward the road. But even though we had those taken down, it's still way too open to our neighbors. So we're putting up a privacy fence, and we've made a few mistakes with the privacy fence. One is I wanted to stain the privacy fence, and I am staining the privacy fence, but I used the stain that I've used on everything else, which is $50 a gallon. And these are rough cut lumber, the fence post, or whatever you want to call them. And so it's really soaking in the stain a lot. And that is not good because we're doing a shadow box type of privacy fence, so it'll be the front and the back that I have to stain. And so we're going to get a cheaper stain to put on the back post, and maybe that'll help out on the cost because it's really expensive. So we've got about 15 posts per 8-foot sections. We're kind of got a mess here. These darker boards are boards I've already stained. The lighter boards are already dry. So we'll have a board. Nick, you want to show the board on the back how it's going to look? I guess not. He didn't hear that. So this side will be unstained. So whoever moves here can stain it themselves. Nick, grab a board. Grab a board so they can do whatever color they want whenever they move here. So we've got a lot to do because we're probably going to go way down in there. And this section's got to be done also. Alright, so put it up and show us what it's going to look like. So on this side, it will be unstained. But on our side, it's stained. So their side will look the same way but unstained. We just want it to be pretty on our side, also not just their side. So it's a little bit more extra money to do it that way, but
There's a table there, don't fall.
it's a little bit more money to do it that way.
No, it's a lot more money to do it that way.
But it's going to be pretty on our side also. I just didn't want to look at an ugly privacy fence. So the people that buys this house next to us eventually, they're going to get a really nice little privacy fence that didn't cost them a dime, but sure did cost us a dime, not including the 19 trees we had cut down. Anyway, such is life for privacy, I guess, and beauty. guess it costs sometimes. Eventually all those trees may have to come down, but I don't know. We're not worrying about that this year. Of course, we weren't going to worry about this year, but here we are. Alright, so it takes me quite a while to stain 15 boards, and it's taken a lot of stain, and we're trying to get it done, right, Nick?
Working on it.
Alright, so let's get to it. Alright, Nick, what are you doing?
Okay. Deck anchor posts, or deck post anchors. It's like an epoxy mix. It's like about 30 seconds. We just stuff is cold. May not mix right. Darn.
What's it doing?
Well, it's cold. I should have said that and let it warm up some more.
It is a little bit chillier today.
Yeah. Let's see. Anyway, it's like a two-part liquid expandifoam. If it works right.
It ought to work right. Right?
Yeah, it's not cheap, but it's actually better to use in the concrete. So you mix the two parts together, you pour it in, it comes out as like a liquid paste, almost like expandifoam.
How long does it take?
Well, we'll know here in a minute. It don't take long for it to start coming up, if it mixes right. We'll see. May have been too cold to mix. That's the other downside. It's supposed to be almost room temperature. 65 degrees to mix it, but that may have been a little bit too cold. But we'll see. Supposed to be able to set post in about 15-20 minutes.
Alright, I'm going to stop it and let it see.
So, it is working. This stuff is amazing. It's probably still a little cool. The bag was probably still a little cold. You're supposed to be able to use it in minus temperature. But anyway, I think the bag may have been a little bit cold. But it sort of penetrates into the wood, it says, and expands. But once it expands up, it's pretty daggone solid. It's just as solid as concrete. And like I say, in about 20 minutes or so, you can actually start hanging your boards and stuff on it, or start building a deck on it. It says 24 hours for full cure, but it's pretty neat stuff.
Well, hello everyone. and welcome to our vlog, A Quiet Life. Well, we finally finished the privacy fence. And here it is. We did a shadow box, and I stained the front side of the front post board, and then I stained both sides of the back one, so that when you look at the privacy fence, you see stained on both sides, and when it turns gray, it won't turn gray. Because normally the boards turn gray, and I didn't really want a gray fence. So we did a pretty tight shadow box on this side. And then as we moved along a little bit further, hear all those acorns falling? And surprisingly, some of my plants have came back, because when they had the skid steer taking down the trees, he ran over every one of my plants. If I'd have known he was going to do that, I'd have moved them, but he didn't. But some of them came back, and I planted my dogwood here. It's a white dogwood that the kids got me, and I named it Sunny because it's the year of the suns. We had our third grandson born, and both of our boys got married, so that's Sunny. And that's Magnolia. So what we did was, down a little bit further, it was right here, we started spacing them out a little bit wider, just to save money on posts, because it's behind the she shed and it's closer to the road, and so when you're right in front of it, it doesn't show anything, but you see more through there as you go, which is good. We get to see the sunrise now, and it's fantastic. We haven't seen that in 30 years almost. Well, as the trees grew. We still like getting all this wood up. That's one thing we have to do, but we're still in the midst of truck troubles. So Nick's still changing the timing chain on his truck. And our neighbors are really going to love us when we get new neighbors, because it really is pretty on their side also. It looks really good. I love it. I'll be glad when some of my trees grow up around it a little bit. Well, bushes. It really does look good, and it adds some light and view to come in. But it's very private for our back patio, which I love, especially because of the outdoor shower over there. I don't know if you can see it or not. But you really don't want anybody seeing you, even though we have towels and robes and stuff on. But I love it. It was a big job. Almost 500 pickets, I guess. And I hope I never have to do another one again in my life. But we worked really hard, and I know exactly what we do have on there. I spent about $500 in stain alone, because I used my favorite stain about from here to here, which is an Olympic stain, Elite mountain cedar, and I use it inside also on my floors and all kinds of stuff. But about right there, I don't know if you can see right there, we switched it out and we used a cheaper stain. So we used a cheaper stain from there on back and on the other side, and actually the second post behind that. But yeah, I stained all the 4x4s and 2x4s, and bless Nick, he had to do a lot of trimming on all these trees where we had the 17, 18 trees cut down. So some of them in the middle, he just had to, let's see if I can find one. Oh, see, it's still, he just cut it around the post. And it was just a lot of work he had to do, just getting the stumps cut down. But it looks great, and we're happy with it. I hope we never have to do it again. It was a lot of work. But isn't everything that is worth something? Just a lot of work and a lot of time, and you're glad when it's done. Alright, so there you have it, our privacy fence. The trees are gone and the privacy fence is up. Thanks for watching.